out there, YouTube? What's going on, everyone? It is D Dunn here, back on his franchise, which is a good place to be. Love it. All right. So last episode, we had a little bit of a tough ride. Last episode, we lost in the wild card round of the playoffs to the Astros. We lost two consecutive games. One of those was even user controlled. I lost my game. Not good. So we kind of pivoted. We went into the off season and we made some huge splashes, notably taking away arguably the Astros' most impactful player, Yordan Alvarez. The 30-year-old is with us for the next 7 years. As you can see, we are also paying him a buttload of money. We did backload it, or we front loaded it. So we're paying him a lot now, right? But as the years goes on, if he starts to slump, if he starts to regress, then we can trade him a lot easier. And it also means that as we progress through his contract, it frees up more space to continue to surround him with more talent. And he's off to a great start. 330 average, 589 slugging, and over 1,000 OPS. Not his best year ever, but best average, best on base, just not his highest slugging percentage. But he's a huge impact player. That also means, if you look at his defensive stats, he could barely probably even play first base, and so he's only a DH. He is only a DH for us, and in order to make room for him, we had to make a lot of trades. So we got rid of Tristan McKenzie, our potential 90 overall guy. We were paying him like $16 million a year for not $16 million worth of productivity. So he's gone. We also got rid of center fielder whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head. We got rid of Jorge Soler, who was previously our DH, but he couldn't play defense, so we're not going to pay him to not DH and not play defense. But we did pick up Jordan Walker in the free agency pool. We scraped up enough money to offer him $7 million. I feel $7 million for a 92 overall player who can play the outfield and multiple positions infield is a huge value add, and he's off to a great start, arguably better than Yordan. So that was a great pickup. I feel really good at where we're at, except we also lost a pitcher, bad with names. We lost one of our pitchers in free agency. He signed with someone else, and he was one of our, a potential lefties who was kind of coming around. Julio Urias continues to be very good. Grayson Rodriguez is doing okay, better than last year, so we appreciate that. We brought up the young Mario Orozco from AAA. I didn't expect him to do good, but he's off to an insane start. 1.36 ERA and a .97 WHIP is insane. One of those games we did pitch ourselves, but the other one was not. So it's not just me. But Mason Miller and Stuart Orr. Stuart Orr is off to a tough start, but digging into the stats, I think he's just gotten really unfortunate and given up some home runs in some bad situations. So it's also 33 innings, so it's kind of a small sample size. He's walking a little bit more than usual, but Mason Miller is terrible. He doesn't have long before I trade him. If you look back, we thought maybe he turned a corner. He got a little bit worse, and we're only paying him $3.8 million, but I needed a top 3 rotation. I need at least 3 or 4 guys that can pitch under a 4 ERA for us, I think, to have longevity. And then in our first month of baseball, we did really good. We went 20-9, really solid despite some of our pitching woes. We dug into scouting a little bit, and we are first in the division. So that's the thing. Can we maintain first? As you can kind of see, we're about where we were at last year. Last year, our ranking was ninth. We are now seventh in terms of uh, like how good of our players are. Defense is 30th. I don't really know why, because our defense is not that bad. I don't think. I don't really know where this is coming from. I mean, Walker, Rosario, and Verdugo, all in the outfield, are solid choices. Addison Barger, Geloff, Brown, Mead in the infield, those are all good choices. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. What does it say? Interesting. Okay. So yeah, we will see. We will see. But we could honestly make a trade this episode if we get to the end of the second month and Mason Miller is still pitching horribly. We might look to offload him for something. We could look up if Henry Hinojo continues to perform well. We might look to bring him up. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And we have some good depth at pitching, so we could potentially package some deals. We also have a ton of depth in other positions like second base, like shortstop, left field especially, tons of depth. So we could very easily look to package a trade with some young players for a good starting pitcher. So we'll see. We also have no money to spend. But let's go ahead and pick out our games for this episode. Currently, the Rangers and the Angels are closest to us. The Rangers are definitely a rivalry. I want to play them every month, but we can't play them every month because I think that gets a little stale. But we have a lot of interdivision games, and I think we might play Seattle, and then maybe Arizona. Have 2 home games. That could be nice. Because I feel like we haven't really played Arizona all that much. I would like to play like one really good team, but everyone kind of has a pretty similar record at this point. So we'll take on Seattle, and then we'll take on Arizona, and that'll also give Mason Miller a few more starts under his belt, and we might see what we're going to do to trade. I know it's early, but I'm not messing around with Mason Miller anymore. He's been around for long enough. I think we know who he is. But looking ahead, I think we'll play with Grayson Rodriguez. We didn't actually pitch that much with him last year. And we get back Mark Winkler, guy we got in it. We got one thing I do want to highlight. So we got Winkler, who looks to be an outstanding reliever. But then look at the depth we got at closing pitcher from these trades. We got Adrian Guerrero, who has 96 hit per 9 at 21 years old. Filthy. And then we also got Alejandro Luis, who doesn't look fantastic, but he's a 19-year-old with a potential. So our closing pitcher group got drastically better, as well as getting a really solid reliever here in Mark Winkler. And he's off to a crazy start. And he's also very young. So we're kind of set. We are still looking for probably 1 or 2 relievers in the draft, but which we'll get to scouting, of course, at the end of this week. But we'll hop in with our first game now that we had like a little recap of our 2027 offseason. I do not want to play in the rain. Just because stupid. All right. Grayson comes in. We don't need to sit anyone. I'm a little concerned about Geloff because he's only batting .226, but that is up from where he started. So, but our bats are good. Maybe at the end of this episode, we'll take a look at statistics and kind of see where we're at compared to the rest of the league. But We are here at our home stadium. Definitely in Oakland, not in Las Vegas. Disregard the fact that it's called Caesars Palace Park. But here we go. So, Grayson Rodriguez, I have no explanation why he was so bad last year. We kind of have him on a steal, only $9 million for a 92 overall pitcher that's pretty young. But, like, it looks like he kind of goes up and down. So, his best season with actual innings was a 3.73 ERA. I really hope that we can get to somewhere. I would be really happy with that. Ultimately, we ended up dropping Tristan McKenzie because he was a few years older, and we were paying him a lot of more money, like what, $7 million more for the same or worse productivity. So that's kind of the result we went with. We maintained Grayson Rodriguez, and he's not pitching horribly.
The second baseman.
At least not as bad as last year. So that's encouraging. The thing about him last year is he had a crazy strikeout rate.
1-1.
But he was walking like, I think it was like three something walks per 9, which is really bad. And there we get our first strikeout. So we didn't really pitch that much with him last year, so it's kind of almost like pitching with a new guy.
0-1.
I mean, having someone who can run a fastball up to 100 is nice. Mason Miller should be able to do that, but the game kind of, for whatever reason, like, caps him.
Nope, that's a ball.
That was a great pitch. Let's see if we can do another changeup in the zone. And he just stares at it going middle. I'll take it. 2 out of 3 strikeouts to get through the first inning of pitching for the A's. Feels pretty good. We'll be facing off against George Kirby, the 30-year-old righty, having a slightly below average season. He looks pretty good, doesn't give up a lot of walks, has pretty good velocity, so we can expect to be challenged, and we'll see how that goes for us. Fastball, sinker, slider, curveball, splitter. A lot of ground ball pitches there. So need to make sure that we're not doing anything crazy, not chasing much. And like 3 fastball variations, kind of crazy.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ooh, fought off the fastball that was right on the black. Probably could have had a little bit better swing at that, but George Kirby might give us some problems. We will see. And then Rosario flies out on his first swing. Now we get to see the man, the myth, the legend, Yordan Alvarez. I mean, he hit that one pretty hard, but under it, just kind of sails. He missed that one, I think, probably by just an inch or two.
Ball 1.
But I kind of see why Grayson Rodriguez struggling a little bit with the walks last year. He does not have much control.
Ball.
70 control and 69 nice. Walk per 9.
2-0.
Should be good enough to have some command. So maybe it's just not his fastball. As that one gets a little bit away from him, we called for it up and out. It ends up going right down the middle. And the man with probably the stupidest name in baseball, Rowdy Tellez, hits a solo homer. Sick. All right. Seattle is up early.
Ball, that's outside.
But we know we have bats. I'm not too concerned.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'll just throw this changeup constantly if that's what's going to work. Holy hell, not if we throw it right down the middle. All right, so we are starting to see the Grayson Rodriguez issues, as that slider also goes right down the middle. Huge shot. 461 feet. With 59 power. Jesus Christ. All right, Grayson.
Hey,
Hear me out, little buddy. What if we don't throw off-speed pitches down the middle? I'm really, I don't understand why these pitches are missing by so much. I mean, it's great if he can get strikeouts, but if he throws half of his pitches down the middle, it's not going to bode well for... Oh, my God. There's another fastball right down the middle. Luckily, this one's just a fly out to right field. So,
all 1's the count.
I don't know, maybe we just really rely on the fastball.
No balls, 2 strikes.
I mean, it's very hard to hit a fastball coming inside you like that. Pause.
Ball 1. Ball 2.
I mean,
2-2 the count.
that was kind of a tough break. We should have had those. Maybe the cutter in on the hands? Fights it off. We get the little infield pop-up. But damage done. Back-to-back solo shots from Seattle. Has them up 2-0. And we did not necessarily demonstrate that we could hit George Kirby very well. Although, Geloff is right there. Takes a pitch on the inside and slides into second safely. That is a good leadoff for us. I think with this particular pitcher, we do have to be ready to swing on the first pitch sometimes. And that is why Seth Brown pissed on. That came out weird. That baseball was pissed on by Seth Brown. 445 feet, a 2-run shot. So Jordan Walker suffers the same fate as Rodriguez, gives up 2 runs in the second. But like I was saying, we know based off of his ratings, he's probably not going to walk a lot of batters, so we can expect to see early strikes. As that is kind of a hallmark of pitchers who don't walk as they get ahead in the count. And it works out well for us in the first couple batters. I mean, he might get out of this in this whole game in 40 pitches. Because if he's going to throw fastballs well inside the zone, I feel like we have to take a rip at him. We just have to barrel him up. And we did just that. But that one shot straight to the first baseman. But I feel obviously a lot better about where we're at. Now let's see if Grayson Rodriguez can get his stuff together. I'm getting so nervous on every pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Just because we haven't seen a pitch yet that has a ton of control.
Outside, ball two.
How did he not go around there? I definitely thought he did. But we're getting strikeouts. I mean, Seattle is
0-1.
down there in the division, so I'm not expecting them to be able to put up a ton of runs on us.
Ball, that's out.
But I mean, if we're just walking everyone, then maybe, I don't know. We haven't walked a batter yet.
No, ball four.
I mean, he's not even close with these pitches. Like, I feel like pitching with Mason Miller in like his first couple years, where we just kind of basically put it in the center of the strike. Oh my God. Meade cannot get to that one. Does not quite have the range.
Suzuki.
I wish he was a little bit better defensively, but it is what it is. I don't know they'll test the arm of Verdugo. He's got a pretty strong run. The throw's offline, but I think it got there quick enough to make the right call. And now old boy Rowdy up.
0-1's the count.
Jesus Christ.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball 2.
I mean, he's in prime position to swing at a high fastball, but he just could not get one. That one is pretty competitive. He takes a rip, breaks his bat. So, a couple more base runners, but no damage done in this inning.
Leading off for Oakland.
All right. Now let's see what our boys can do.
Counts 1-0.
Meade takes a rip at a high fastball. Actually, pretty good ride out there. I mean, he doesn't have a ton of power, but good timing. Pretty well barreled up. Verdugo with a nice hard hit ball. I don't think we're going to have any problems hitting these balls. It's just a matter of, are they going to land?
1-0.
He's been pretty fastball heavy, which bodes well for us. Because it's easy to track a fastball, but holy hell. We just keep hitting him hard right to defenders. He has shockingly bad control on a lot of these pitches. Oh my goodness. I think we're going to have to really rely on this fastball. Because not much else is like really working. They're not really swinging at the off speed under the zone. And when he misses bad.
That's ball 2.
And that is a really unfortunate call from Blue there. Should have been strike 3. I think we go back to it.
3-2.
I mean, we got to give him a challenge fastball. Let's see 101. We get, oh my God, I called it. 101. Maybe we just throw like 75% fastballs. I'm not sure. Verdugo with just enough speed to range over and get that one. All right, Jordan missed a home run by just a few feet last at bat.
Back outside.
And there it is. Jordan doing Jordan things. A solo shot to lead us off, and a huge one. 106 off the bat. His 10th of the season, 462 feet. I feel like, given the dimensions of our stadium, how hitter-friendly it is, like, Jordan should hit 50 home runs. This this stadium is so easy to hit home runs in. I feel like he's got to hit like 50 home runs this year.
That's a ball.
Seth Brown already has one in the game, 1-for-1 with a homer that gave us our first 2 runs. This one opposite field, out into left. That'll be good enough, I think, for a single. Feel good about that. Let's see what Jordan Walker can do.
Ball 1, no strike. Two balls, no strike.
Starts us off with back-to-back curveballs. Curious. And he goes yard. 3 home runs for the A's in only 4 innings. It's looking good. And then Soderstrom was looking to match that. Mashes the splitter, but foul. Good pitch to take a rip at there, unfortunately. 0-2 count.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Man. Under that fastball. Very good pitch on the black. All right. And now Addison Barger. Oh, that curveball much better than the ones we've seen previously. Gets a swing. And then he rolls over the top of that sinker.
Got him.
And I'm a little worried if he goes to some other pitches that are not the fastball. We might have a little bit of trouble hitting those. But, at least in the beginning of this game, he has been happy just throwing fastballs in the zone, and we have been hitting them very hard. Now let's see if Grayson,
That's a ball.
Ump's giving us some trouble here.
1-0.
Let's see if he can manage to keep his strikes, or his fastballs not hit out of the park. Oh, that one is hit pretty hard and deep. Rosario cannot catch up to it. It's going to be a double for Colt Emerson. Well hit ball. Another circle change that cannot get down.
Nope, that's a ball.
Oh no, seeing Grayson Rodriguez pitch,
That's ball 2. 2 balls.
I understand why he's struggled in the past. And I'm starting to wonder. Rosario with the throw to the home plate. Soderstrom with the snag, and he is out. Great defense from Rosario to Soderstrom.
Third baseman,
Saves us a run.
Westberg.
Love to see that. But as I was saying, seeing the way Grayson Rodriguez pitched, like how bad he misses and his lack of control.
He's up.
Oh, what a defensive play! We got to see the replay on that. Look at this. Look at this. A little razzle-dazzle from the A's. Gets past Rodriguez. He doesn't even try and rack. Right to Geloff. The little one-hand flipper. And then Barger. Yeet! Nice. That is some good defense from the A's right there. All right, let's see if we can capitalize on that good defense with some more offense. But anyway, once again, I think now for the fourth time, seeing Grayson Rodriguez pitch, I kind of understand now. Because if you look at his ratings, he shouldn't be this bad. But he misses a lot. And so we have to wonder, as we hit another... Oh, I thought for sure we had hit another home run. Just a double, but we'll take it. Do we package Rodriguez and Mason Miller in a deal for a new starter? I think that might be something we explore. Mason, I think, is in the last year of his contract. Grayson, I think, might be on his last year, maybe 2 years left. They're both fairly young for starting pitchers. And Grayson still has potential. But then if we trade two pitchers, we were... Okay, umpire. Number 3, not a strike. Just letting you know. But if we trade away two pitchers and only get one starter, that means we have to bring someone else up from AAA. And so do we give up 2 bad starters for 1 good starter and then bring up someone who potentially doesn't perform well? I don't know the answer to that question.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention,
And that's going to be it. Now we're going to see Ryan Keller, who's walking in with an ERA of 10. I mean, he doesn't look great. And with Yordan Alvarez up, you got to be really happy to see a pitcher like this. Great slurve there. Should have been strike 1. We've seen some pretty bad calls from Blue here so far in this game. That one's in. But we're hunting the fastball. That's what we're looking for. Get one there, but outside. Yordan trying to make a big impact. Ooh, hits a chopper down the line. That was actually a pretty good curveball. I'm not going to lie about it. He does have some pretty high break on his pitches. But that could be something we look to explore. We'll see how things shake out for the rest of this month. But, oh my God, Blue. We could very well end this episode with a trade. Maybe if we package Miller and Rodriguez and a young prospect, like maybe a Martin Meza, who has been incredibly disappointing. And so far this year has struggled at Double-A. We could look to package him. I'm sure he would probably have a lot of value for a team. He's got great power. He's young. He has good potential. He hasn't proven it for us yet, but he could be worth it for another team. And Rodriguez actually dots one. Fastball inside on the black. All right, now let's see if we can not fall for the trap. Sometimes we've seen we face pretty bad pitchers, and for whatever reason, can't hit them. Like that. That is a good slurve. He's got some good pitches. His ratings might not be good, but his pitching stuff
2-2 the count.
has been pretty good so far. That one beaten to the ground by Geloff. Yep, over the top of the fastball. The thing that really helped us with the last pitcher was he was pitching. Seth Brown should. Oh, wow. Both shortstop and second baseman can't glove that. It is ruled a base hit.
Now batting. Right
But the
fielder,
thing that was
Jordan.
really helping us with the last pitcher was that all of his fastballs were like belt high. But he's pitching down even on his fastball. Oh my God.
2-2 the count.
Jordan Walker, I guess, just closing his eyes and swinging for the fences. Gets eat up. Gets 8 up. 3 pitches and a strikeout.
The catcher, Tyler
Wow.
Soderstrom.
1-0.
There it is. Get your tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Next stop, Pound Town. Oh, that was Soderstrom. I thought that was Geloff. My bad. So Geloff goes yard. Our 4th, 5th home run of the game so far. Addison Barger promptly grounds out on the first pitch, but we do increase the lead. Yeah, we finally get a missed pitch. All right. Grayson Rodriguez has not been impressive at all. Jesus. I really want to take a look at Winkler. We haven't got to pitch with him yet. And then a lefty up. I mean, Jojo Romero's getting just shat on. So if it warrants it, maybe we bring him in, get him some good innings, hopefully. It's crazy he went from closer with a under 3 ERA to middle relief,
Ball 2.
like hoping he doesn't blow the game.
That's ball 3.
Okay. That was not your fault, Grayson. Don't sweat it, buddy. Just throw a strike here.
Nope. Ball 4.
Nope. You missed by like 6 inches.
The catcher, Harry Ford.
The stage is set for Grayson Rodriguez to put Seattle back in this game. Him and Blue put together.
Ball 2.
Oh my God, dude.
2-0.
Those are actually some really close pitches.
That's ball 3.
And we could not buy a strike to save our life. There we get
3
one.
balls, 1 strike.
We're going to have to live a little dangerously.
Aye.
And then we're going to go off speed in the zone, hit very hard, but Barger's there to Geloff and then to Brown. Double play. Love to see it. Circle change, very hittable. But I'm assuming the off speed was just enough to get the rollover. And now we see Isaiah Kiner Falefa,
0-1.
who I don't think we've seen in a long time, since probably we saw him with the Yankees. I didn't realize it, but that was actually pitch number 100 for Grayson Rodriguez, and he still has pretty good energy. Although I do not trust him at all. So looking
Your
ahead,
attention, please. Now pitching for Seattle, number 54, Seth Corey.
I think even though the first batter we could go lefty. Let's go with Winkler. First look at him. Actually, we'll put Romero in. I do want to look at Winkler, but it's a really low leverage situation, and Romero's cold as hell. So we really need to get him straight. As we see Seth Corey, Mead's going to take a rip, and that one actually does land out in center. So new pitcher Seth Corey, 29-year-old lefty, having a decent season. We might see a few walks. Nothing too crazy about him. But we get a hittable fastball, and we do what we've done all game, which is hit that fastball very hard.
Inside ball.
We get on base. Never going to complain about a leadoff base runner. And we roll over to the top of our lineup. Oh! Verdugo, 101 right down the first base line, but ultimately foul.
Ball 2.
78-mile-an-hour changeup. Incredibly slow, and then we roll over on the changeup again.
Out.
Verdugo does run it out, though. Surprisingly, not exactly a speedster, but I think it was hit just softly enough. It couldn't get through the infield in time. Rosario had a great defensive play earlier in the game. Saw him make a throw from center to home with good accuracy and good power. Soderstrom tagged the runner out at home. That was one area I think probably hurt us last year. We didn't have a lot of speed in the outfield. And you definitely need at least some speed in the outfield. I think our fastest outfielder was like a 50. Ultimately, we made the move and moved Addison Barger to short and put Rosario out in center, which helped. But we definitely need something
Outside.
that we definitely need to keep an eye on in the future.
Ball 2.
Jordan already has one home run, 1 for 3. Last at bat wasn't great, chased on a curveball and grounded out.
That's ball 3.
But I would imagine they're probably, with one runner on, already down 5, and with 2 outs,
Nope.
that they're pitching around him, and they do.
The batter, the
Geloff,
second baseman, Zach.
not especially good versus lefties. I think that's probably the right move to pitch around Jordan there.
Ball 1.
Or maybe Seth Corey just can't find the strike zone. Not sure at this point. But Geloff's going to hit a little bloop around to right. Reaches down on that fastball. Uh-oh.
Got him on the tag. Out.
Verdugo tries to go home, and there's that lack of speed I was talking about. I love the aggressive base running. We don't need it, but
Your attention,
it
please.
does in the inning.
Now pitching.
All right, so we're up 5.
Romero.
Good spot for JoJo to come in. Just have him throw some strikes. It's what we told him coming into this situation. We said, hey, bro, you haven't had a good start to the year, and that's okay. We know you used to be an elite closer, and now you suck. That happens to the best of us. It doesn't. But that's just what we're saying to make it feel better. So we're saying go out there,
Did he go?
just throw some strikes. Maybe he bites on a slider, but just throw it in the zone. Defense will take care of you. Everything's going to be all right. Good sinker, gets the ground ball. 1 down. Another lefty-lefty matchup, which we like.
Ball 1.
We're not trying to do anything crazy.
Hey.
Just throw some sinkers. Maybe we're going to mix a little slide piece in there. Spin it to win it. And then come back inside with the fastball. It's a good little pitch mix. Boom, strikeout. See how easy that is? We can just get him right. Just get him right. All right, so Romero gets to the inning pretty easily.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for Seattle, number 60. Gregory.
Now I think we're going to go to Winkler, get a look at him. We'll get Garrett Crochet still sucks. That's awesome to see. So let's get him up in case we need a lefty. Actually, I forgot. We're going into the ninth. So yeah, we'll see Winkler in the ninth. Low leverage situation, but oh my goodness, that was a 93 mile an hour slider. What in the world? Oh, that's crazy. This guy's got some pizzazz, some spunk. Seth Brown says, I don't care about your spunk. It's a rocket, but it is gloved by the right fielder. Now Jordan Walker. Love to see him hit a dinger. This one goes right back to the pitcher. He can't glove it. It's a single. Really good at bats, I think, for us this game. I think we understood and read the pitchers really well, what they're good, what they're bad at, and formulated a plan accordingly. We've also got some really good pitches. We've been challenged a lot in the zone.
Shortstop, Addison Barger.
So that does help. And we go. Oh, safe. Good running there by Walker. Another aggressive call from our third base coach to send the runner. And we're just going to swing at everything, apparently. Looks like we might get a double play. We do. We score one. Not the worst pitch in the world to swing at, but we're trying to end this game.
Your attention, please.
And now we get our first look at Mark Winkler, who we got via trade.
Winkler.
Obviously pitching insane right now. Has 5 saves on 5 opportunities, a .61 ERA. 7 walks is kind of surprising, but when you have 99 hit per 9 as a rating, you got to think that's going to bode well for you. How do you feel about like a little two-seamer running away from him, up and away? But we're starting to add some pitchers with some real velocity, which I like. Typically that means they have no control, and we have seen that a little bit. I like that he has a really good ground ball pitch in the splitter. He seems to have good command as well.
Outside, that's a ball.
I mean, he has missed a couple fastballs. That's the second fastball. He's pretty much thrown right down the middle, so got to worry about that. Suzuki's really not happy about that call, but that was actually like one of the one good calls we've seen from Blue so far. He has been really happy to call some strikes balls and vice versa. Let's see how Rowdy feels about a splitter down and away. Winkler might be our next closer. That was a filthy inning. Just a good overall win. Outside of those 2 awful pitches from Rodriguez that led to 2 massive homers, one that was pumped like 460 feet, our offense was better.
Here now is our final line score.
Grayson Rodriguez does get the win. He goes 7 innings, allows 5 hits, 2 walks, 2 earned runs.
They left 6 men on base.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
For the Mariners,
But concerning to say the least. All right. So, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in a row for our boys. We definitely love to see that. We'll sim through here. Mason Miller's start here. Let's see how Mason did. He's definitely on trade alert. So he went 5 innings, allowed 4 earned runs. Man. Okay. All right. So we have scouting. If you didn't watch the last episode, we're focusing specifically on relief pitcher, first base, third base. That's where we're lacking the most depth. And that kind of thought process really helped us in our last draft. We got some really good depth at shortstop and outfield. And this was a discovered player, and he looks pretty good. Maybe not the highest potential, but plays second and third. We have him ranked 25th. Outstanding defense. Maybe not a great bat, but exceptionally good defense. Good speed. May take a look at him, but if I'm drafting someone in the first round, I would like them to be kind of a complete player. I don't think that those batting skills really kind of scare me. Let's see, we didn't discover any new prospects in the West, so let's go to Central. And what did we say? First, third? Yes, first and third. Okay. So let's go to those first basemen. We are picking at 21. So these first few guys probably not on the table for us. Helen Watson doesn't look that bad for a possible 125, potentially. Let's go over to third base, see what we got. Larry Erdman could very well fall to us, and he looks pretty good. The potential to overall, like how close they are, is a little concerning. Same way with Eddie Garcia. This is crazy. His max potential 84, overall 94. So that leads me to believe that he will probably immediately start to regress. That's not what we're looking for. Not a good third base class, which is kind of concerning. But well, at least back at first, anyone? I know this is kind of bait. Just probably not the best use of our resources. This guy looks like he could be good. We can probably fully scout him since he's 20 years old and 1. Let's also take a look at our scouting progress in our relief pitchers. So we're currently scouting Central. It looks like we're up to 70% on some. Where are all these guys? Oh well. I think it's time that we move to a different region. Let's go east. Okay. Still going to keep looking for some new infield prospects. All right, so I'll be scouting for this week. What do we say we're going to play the Diamondbacks next? All right, so we did end up losing 1 game to KC so far. That broke our win streak. But still doing very, very well. We end up losing the series to New York, unfortunately. We win the series, or at least are going to tie it versus Texas. Win the series versus Kansas City. So as of right now, we are cruising 28-13, 6 games above the Rangers. Let's take a look at our team rankings. So we're not number 1 in batting like we were last year. 3rd in runs is always good, but we're up there. 1st in home runs. Jordan with 12 already. Addison Barger, okay. Young boy with 9. How are we doing with in 6th and on base? That's not bad. Like to see. All right, so ERA. We are 8. So we're in the top 10. That's really what we needed. Was like some pitching. But Miller's down to a 6 ERA. It feels repulsive to say down to a 6 ERA. Stewart Orr is coming back a little bit. He's down almost a full ERA point. And Orozco continues to pitch very well. Now with 8 games started, under 3 ERA and a 1.1 whip, that is very good. Grayson Rodriguez is pitching pretty well. I would, for $9 million and a 92 overall, I mean, it really doesn't matter. Their overall, it's like for the A's, where we don't have a lot of money to spend and we spent all of our money on Jordan, I need value. If I'm paying someone close to $10 million, I need to see at least like a 4 ERA or below. So Mason Miller maybe having a little bit of a comeback. Bullpen's doing okay. Garrett Crochet apparently sucks. He pitched really well the last 2 years for us, so I'm assuming he can work it out. And then our young Roosevelt Bronson, only 22 years old. We threw him in at closer because he started off really well, and he's still pitching really well. 6 saves, 0 blown saves, 1.17 ERA. Good start. Hey, babe.
Hi.
Leaving?
No? Are you recording yourself right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm streaming. A couple people watching. My wife's really hot. You should be really jealous, whoever's watching. What? Love you. Alrighty. Back on scouting. Okay, so Sean Heath, we took a look at. He doesn't look awful. I mean, it's first base, so you don't really have to have great defense. I mean, for a pick down the board, maybe not bad. We did discover a new infielder. So we need to go to recently scouted and find him. Looks like it was a second baseman. You know, he doesn't look great. Okay. Let's take a look at Alan Watson. He has some potential. All right, since we found someone in the central region, we will continue to look there. All right. And now we will head to our Arizona series so we can pitch with Mason Miller or Orozco. I think we've already pitched with Orr and Orozco, so we'll hop in here with Mason Miller, see if maybe we can set him straight. I'm not sure we do, but we'll try. We'll try. Back-to-back home games in this episode is always fun. Might see some more home runs. And we're facing lefty Eduardo Rodriguez, who has a very good ERA, 2.72. And Zach Geloff needs a day off. Let's give him a day off and also put in someone who can hit lefties a little better, which is Douglas Vaughn. He actually made it up to the majors pretty quickly. I think he's one of, outside of Stewart Orr and a couple relievers that has actually made it from where we have drafted them, and now we're actually seeing them in action in at the major league level. So it's always exciting to draft a player and then see them. I'm thinking I'm probably going to cop the new Madden. I saw a lot of videos today on the reveal. I think it looks pretty good. And, you know, if it plays as well as NCAA looks, I feel pretty optimistic about it.
For Arizona, the center fielder, Jake.
All right, so Mason Miller. I mean, we kind of know the story.
Yep, that ball went out.
He started off in the organization like way up and way down, going between AAA and in the majors.
Batting second, the second baseman.
Never really have had a really good season from him.
That's a ball.
And he is having a terrible season so far. So he's definitely on trade watch. We will keep an eye on him. I almost hope that we do have a bad game pitching with him here, because I really am almost looking for justification to trade him, because he's been such a frustrating player on our team. They actually don't run on Verdugo with 97 speed. Pretty surprising, but he has a good arm.
Runner!
Soderstrom with the throw to third.
No.
Offline. Behind Meade. And that was a successful steal attempt. But yeah, I'm almost looking for an excuse now to trade Mason Miller after he started off so poorly. Perdomo just had no interest in that fastball down the middle.
Ball one.
Let's see what we can do here against Corbin Carroll. In real life, I saw he hit a pinch hit walk-off the other night.
One ball.
But I think hasn't really been performing that well. I think. Even though I do live in Phoenix, Arizona, I just don't follow the Diamondbacks that closely. I do enjoy going to the games, though. They have a really nice stadium.
Ball one. Ball one, no strike.
And the Diamondbacks are actually first in NL. When we started this month, their record actually wasn't that good. So they must have gone on quite the run. Those last two pitches just in on the black. And then they go inside. Verdugo pops up. And that actually falls. Wow. Verdugo with a little bit of luck there. Only 60 miles an hour off the bat. Doesn't go far, but goes just far enough. And the outfielder cannot get to it. Rosario going opposite field, pokes a little single out to right. We'll take that. So back-to-back singles with no outs. And now we have the, of course, ever dangerous Jordan. We spent half of our yearly budget on him. Okay, not a home run, but that should score one. Rosario is certainly going to end up on third, and he does. Doesn't help out his OPS or his slugging percentage, but still a positive result. Walker grounds it to a double play, still scores a run. get a quick early 2-run lead. And Rodriguez, I was going to say pitching down to us a little bit, but that one middle goes to the wall, but the catch is made. And a very good swing, but just a very loud out.
Leading off for the Diamondbacks, the designated hitter, Nick Castellanos.
Nick Castellanos still playing ball. How old is he now? 36. And the man can still hit. 6 homers so far this year.
Ball, that's out.
Definitely someone to watch out for. Proven veteran.
Ball 2. That's ball 3.
Going to give him a challenge fastball. Let's see if Miller can crank up the heat. 98 on the black. We don't get the call. Not a bad pitch. But as we talk about, our philosophy with our pitchers is 2 throw strikes. I would much rather put the onus on the batter to make the play. Than just let him walk for free. Because as most sports fans know, the hardest thing to do is to hit a baseball. So you challenge a batter. You make him make the play. Trust your defense. That's our philosophy for our pitchers. And it's worked out so far. Mason Miller with a strikeout to end the top of the second. Let's see if our bats can continue to be productive. Didn't really have too hard of a time with Eduardo Rodriguez. Probably could have gotten more if we hadn't have grounded into the double play.
Counts 1-0.
And Barger continues his amazing sophomore season. I think that's now his 10th or 11th home run of the year. His 10th, 378 feet. Of course, not hard to do here in A's Stadium. But we'll still take it. I'd love to see a young guy performing well. Took a risk on him last year, and it worked out for us pretty well. I have not seen as much success out of Douglas Vaughn. He absolutely crushes it in the minors. We saw that multiple years in a row. I think he was down in AA, AAA only 2 or 3 seasons before he got the call-up. But hasn't replicated that minor league success up here in the majors yet, but still a young man, and he is just currently a bench bat, so not a ton of pressure for him.
Batting ninth, the catcher, Tyler.
This could be a breakout year for Sodi, though. Hitting .311. That's huge. He's been very consistent, getting a little bit better every year, which is about all the best that you can hope for. But now I think this is probably, what, year 3, 4, 5, 6. This is like year 6 or 7. And he started as a rookie, so. But we have been kind of waiting for that breakout year. Maybe this year is it. All right. So we roll over to the top of our lineup. And Rodriguez having a little struggle finding the strike zone. That is 6 balls in the last 7 pitches. Verdugo taking a hack at that inside fastball, just a little late. Last one fell just in that same area, but just fair. Same place again, but doesn't land fair. Now the count is even. Verdugo gives this one a good swing out into center. It is caught, however, and the A's manage to not score. Oh, never mind, we did. Yep. Barger with the solo shot. Okay. All right. Mason Miller pitching a pretty good game so far. We've seen a couple walks, but also a couple strikeouts. Hasn't had any like huge mistake pitches.
That's a ball.
Has struggled to find the zone at times.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good slider there. Let's see if De Los Santos wants another one. He thought about it. Beautiful. Good hard fastball on the inside, on the hands.
Nope. Ball 1, no strikes.
Dog's pretty excited for Mason Miller pitching well. For reference, coming into this game, he has a 7 ERA. So the fact that he hasn't given up any runs is good. There's his first base runner. Well, not his first, but I think that might be his first hit given up.
Number 32, Jake McCarthy.
Ball, that's inside.
I have to hope that they don't do any damage, but
Inside ball.
we'll see. Misses on his first 2 pitches, and we see a bunt. Soderstrom can't glove it, and the bunt works to perfection. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Let's take a look. I thought for sure this was going to be an easy double play. Pops up. Soderstrom charges, misses. That's a double back for it. So that one not Mason Miller's fault.
0-1.
But still frustrating nonetheless. Strikeout would be huge here. Or a double play, honestly. Peraza putting up a pretty good fight here. See if we can bang a fastball in
That's inside.
at the knees. We do not. And the slider gets the strikeout. That's good news for Mason Miller. Now Perdomo just went down looking at a fastball down the middle
That's a ball.
last at bat.
Count 1-0.
I'd be pretty happy if he did that again.
1 ball, 1 strike.
See if we can fool him with a changeup. We do! Back-to-back strikeouts for Mason Miller. And we get out of the inning, leaving 2 men stranded on base. Feels good. Gotta lay off those. Those are not the pitches we want.
Ball.
Rosario, normally much more disciplined hitter. Pops this one up. Easy out. Jordan.
Nope. Ball 1, no strike.
Have to say, so far, excellent money spent. And right on cue. Oh, just missed. 5.9 feet outside of the foul pole.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Turned on that one. but just missed. And he actually strikes out on the 92-mile-an-hour fastball. I don't think we expected that to be as far in the zone as it was.
Outside.
But no one bats 1,000. And Walker might foul out here. Yeah, I think that's Corbin Carroll out and right. And he has excellent speed. Speaking of Corbin Carroll now at the plate.
Ball one.
Looks at a fastball outside. Mason Miller has thrown lots of very hittable cutters. They're not exactly have a ton of movement, but they're just not swinging at him.
Ball.
Good to see a fastball up at a hundo. Back to back. And if he could just locate like that consistently, I think we'd be in a much better spot. Obviously. Definitely not the Reaper that we see in real life. But maybe this is the turning point game for Miller. Been shitting on him all day, but maybe this is the turning game for him. Had a really bad start.
I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
Maybe this is the game that gets him right.
Hey! Ball 2.
It's a good strikeout in the inning, and so far a strong showing. These pitches from Rodriguez, not especially hard to read,
Ball.
but I don't know if it's just like where the ball comes out of, but it just seems like they're going farther outside than what they actually are. Meade flies out to left. Not a bad swing. Good timing. Just a little bit off the end of the bat there. Barger trying to go 2 for 2 for 2 homers. That one very hard and on the nose just a little early. This one opposite field. And not nearly as much power. Again, not a bad swing. Just not timed up.
Oh, that's inside.
Let's see what old Dougie Vaughn can do. DV. Opposite field sounded good, but dies a little bit short of the track. That is the end of the 4th. Kind of a close game.
Hey!
Feel pretty good about Mason Miller's performance this far.
Ball 1.
Seen a lot more action with the slider than I think in previous outings that we've pitched with him, which, I mean, that's obviously a good thing. You want his pitches to improve. And I do have to say, pitching with our Rodriguez and seeing him miss
The first baseman,
by like
Davison
6-8 inches,
Santos.
Miller's not missing that bad. Of course, I say that, and he misses pretty badly there, but not as bad as we saw with Rodriguez.
Did he go?
But, you know, we only play 2 games a month, so we need guys that simulate well. And if Miller continues to struggle, I think, like I've said it a couple times, but we might look to move him at the end of the month. Might upset A's fans, but
0-2.
If he could just pitch like this in simulation, we'd be set.
Nope. That's inside. Oh.
I mean, that's 5 strong. I did see his energy was starting to get a little low, though. So let's go ahead and get a lefty and a righty up. I mean, I'll stretch a good start with Miller as long as I can. But we are only winning by 3 runs. It's a fairly comfortable lead, but we're heading into the 6th, so the game is long ways from over. Good swing from Sodi, but again, not going to fall. Great speed out there in the outfield from Corbin Carroll. It's going to be hard to get anything to land out there.
I got a ball, 1 strike.
So, first 2 innings, very successful. Last 2 really have not
Ball 2.
got many runners on base, not many hits.
3 balls, 1 strike.
We do go in a 3-1 count. We'll be looking to turn that around. It's a good swing. It's high and it's deep, and it's caught on the warning track. Okay. Another scoreless inning for the A's. Mason Miller's energy running a bit low. He's been pretty efficient with his pitches. 75 at the start of the 6th is not bad,
No ball,
but
2 strikes.
he doesn't have a ton of stamina, so we don't necessarily expect him to go deep. But if he starts missing, especially here at the heart of the lineup, looking at Perdomo, contact is off the charts. I think it's time to make the move. Let's go to Garrett Crochet.
Your attention, please. Now pitching, Garrett Crochet.
He at least has less power against lefties. Crochet, our highest rated reliever, and one of our worst performing. Let's see if he can get right and get us out of this inning. Starts with a leadoff single. The throw to home is not going to be in time. Corbin Carroll is just too fast.
The right fielder, number 7.
Wait, that was not Corbin Carroll? Who has 97 speed on their team? McCarthy. Who is McCarthy? Plain center. Not much of a bat, but holy hell can that man run. Hitting pretty well though. 321. I mean, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. Now we get the lefty-lefty matchup versus Carroll,
1-1.
which we really need.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
There we go. Good matchup, but now against Castellanos, maybe a different story, but obviously, hopefully not. He represents
1's the count.
a run that would put them in the lead.
Ball in.
They're seeming to love the slider.
He's out.
Not the best decision making from Mead.
Now batting.
He does get one out by stepping on third, but then for some reason pumps at center, or at center, pumps at home plate, and probably could have had the double play, but didn't make the throw to first nearly in time. Does make the throw here though, so Crochet gets us out of that really dangerous spot. Now looking ahead, I think it's okay to leave Crochet in, but we'll go ahead and get Romero warming up as well, as we are only headed into the 7th. Still need 3 more innings to get through. I mean, that was a pitch to crush. Rosario is somehow under that. Just missed. All right, let's see if they pitch around Jordan. They don't. And he hits a piss missile on the right. But Jordan does not move quickly, and Corbin Carroll does. So that is a
Right fielder.
limited to a single. Now we see Luis Frias. Frias? Kind of struggling this year, but flamethrower.
Ball. Count 1-0.
The question is, can he control that velocity? We'll see.
2-0.
We usually don't have a problem hitting the high fastball, like high velocity fastball. I mean, Walker doesn't quite catch up to the high fastball there. Yeah, just under it, and kind of off the end of the bat. Good timing, so he saw it off the hand well. But then Mead, watching those fastballs come in, whiffs on the circle change. And then reaches out for the slider for some apparent reason. Quickly in an 0-2 count.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Thankfully, does not bite on that one. Oh, wow. That was a gift from the heavens, and Mead is just early. Slider right down the middle.
That's ball 2.
But has worked himself into a 2-2 count. And that slider is going to get the better of him. Third baseman can't glove it immediately, but does pick it up and does make the throw to first in time. So another inning, scoreless from the A's. Garrett Crochet back on the mound.
Ball 1.
We'll see if he can get through maybe 1 or 2 more batters. Maybe less, depending on if he gives up a hit or not. See if we can dot up a fastball high and away. We get the swing and the miss. And we'll definitely take that. What is his name? Davision de los Santos. Okay.
Ball 1
Davision de los Santos. Little dribbler to second. Vaughn makes the catch and the throw. Out number 2. And slowly but surely, the Diamondbacks' hopes are dwindling away. Only a 2-run game. But out number 3 to end the 7th.
Your attention, please.
And now we go to the bullpen.
Number 66.
Looks like time to go to another lefty.
MacArthur.
Romero's going to get the call, and then we're going to warm up Bronson. All right, so we have James MacArthur. Doesn't look especially talented, but does have good velocity and decent break on his pitches. Hello, Cameron Spencer.
The second baseman.
How are you today?
Douglas Vaughn.
Appreciate you joining the stream. Ooh, and the young gun with a nice solo shot out into right. Back up to a 3-run lead. Still not safe, but love to see that out of a young hitter.
1-0.
Doing good. Glad to hear that, Cameron. Seth's been pretty quiet today. Oh, he definitely got a pitch hit there, but must have been way under that one. Good timing. Just can't barrel it. And then Sodi hits a rocket, but gloved quickly by the second baseman. Vaughn comes up clutch, though.
Ladies and
Extends the lead out just a little bit.
please.
And now we'll have Jojo Romero come in.
Joe Romero.
Looking for him to... Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
0-1.
Kind of surprising that batter, young guy, doesn't have a ton of power. I think only like 49 power or something like that. But of course, we'll always take a good home run. Our stadium here, the new Oakland A's stadium, pretty hitter friendly. So not the hardest stadium to get home runs in, which does make for some exciting games.
That ball's foul. Ball, that's out.
James McCarthy there, Jake McCarthy, having himself a day. 3 for 3. He's had a couple steals on us. See if Walker has the range. I think he does. We get a bunt. This one foul down the third baseline. Kind of curious going for a bunt in that situation. Don't quite see it, but I think that's the second time actually in this game, though, that we have seen a bunt attempt. Oh, another foul ball. Okay. Let's throw something up in the zone. Haven't been up there much. Maybe he's looking low. And he is. Swings through the high fastball. Romero with the strikeout. Love to see it. One more out. Maybe we can put another run or two across the board. Hopefully put this one out of reach for Arizona. That was a dot. Ooh, very close pitch. Very close pitch. That one does manage to stay fair. Seth Brown grabs it. We're out of it.
Your attention, please.
Now we're going to see Colin Pache. Pache? Pache?
Colin
Poche.
Leading
All right,
for the
let's
Athletics,
get down to our
the
bullpen.
left fielder, Alex
It does
Verdugo.
advantage a righty, so we will go to our closer. Does have 7 saves on the year. Let's see what we can do against Pache.
That's a ball.
A's in real life had a center fielder, Christian Pache, who went over to the Braves. Not a bad swing from Verdugo. Just missed it. We're getting some fastballs in the zone. We need to wake up. Batters need to drink some coffee or something. These are some very hittable pitches. That one probably not so much though. Slider in on the hands. He does turn on it, keeps it fair down the line, but
Alvarez.
Ball one.
this is, I think, our first big, really big. Wow. Wow. That thing is long gone. What? What? What happened to that ball? You're telling me Yordan Alvarez gets a perfect, and it's not a home run.
Your attention, please. Now pitching, Roosevelt Bronson.
Oh, there is, okay. There's 9-mile-an-hour winds directly at us. That kind of explains it. Holy hell. I was going to say, there's no way. All right. Roosevelt Bronson, a guy that we drafted. He's worked his way up through the minors and now pitching at an amazing level here in the majors. Originally started this year as a middle reliever, but after we saw the season he was putting up, we moved him over to our closer, and he has continued to be good. Looking to put this one away and get his 7th save of the year.
That's a ball.
We're getting close. A lot of foul balls. Corbin Carroll is no slouch. 0 for 3 today, but see if we give him some velocity low and away. Get a foul. I don't think Verdugo has the speed. He does not. How about a cutter in on the hands? Oh, man. That was honestly a great pitch. We're going to challenge him. We get the ground ball.
He's out.
So one batter extinguished.
0-1's the count.
Doesn't have a ton of velocity, but just enough. Gets Castellanos to ground out. We are 1 out away from getting through a pretty close game here. The Diamondbacks had their chances. There were multiple times where they had multiple runners on. They just could not get them across. Our relief pitching has been just good enough. And more importantly, a good outing from Mason Miller, which is what we really needed to see. Hayes flies out to center. Rosario's under it. A's win. Continue to roll this month. And I feel really good about our chances. All right, so player of the game actually is Mason Miller. He allowed 5 hits and a walk, but struck out 8 in 5 innings, only allowed 1 earned. Batting Alvarez goes 2 for 4. Everyone else just kind of a spattering of singles and doubles. Pretty good game overall. 6 hits apiece for both teams. All right, so that was our second game. I see, we have a few viewers. Not sure if you've tuned in before, but we play 2 games a month, 1 interdivision, 1 out of division. That was our out of division game. So we'll be simming the rest of the month and doing our scouting. Looks like we had a tough time finishing off Arizona, though. We only score 1 against them here. Stuart Orr, another pretty bad outing. Gives up 4 runs in 5 innings. And then Orozco, I think, finally probably has his first bad game. Has been pitching outstanding thus far, but starts and only goes 2/3 of an inning and gives up 6 runs. That is a really tough start. And then, let's see, so far splitting the series with Houston. Let's take a look at our scouting here. We're looking at Alan Watson, a first baseman, kind of down the board. Looks like he could actually still have some decent potential. Interesting that he can also play third and right. He looks decent. He's probably a good value pick down the board. We did discover 2 new infielders, though. So let's go to our recently scouted and find those guys. So a third baseman who doesn't look very good. Has a cannon for an arm, though, which is good at third base. And a shortstop who also does not look very good. Okay. So, with that said, are there any other first basemen that we really want to take a good long look at? I don't think Kaplan falls to us. He's listed. We have him at 18. We pick at 21st, but MLB has him at 9, so I feel like he probably doesn't drop 9 spots. And he probably wouldn't be a good grab either. When the potential in the overall match is usually not a good sign. Any value down the board? We got a power hitter here. Looks like he crushes lefties, has a good arm strength. Jeff Kinney doesn't look awful for not being ranked. Any third baseman? Larry Erdman. Maybe he falls to us. I don't know if I want to waste a week of scouting. Even though I know this is probably a trap, we'll go ahead and scout him anyway. Let's take a look at how our relief pitching scouting is going. We're at 35% in the East. Have we missed any regions? So the West region we still have to look at. So let's do that. Let's spend a couple weeks on East and then we'll kind of hone in. I did say West, right? Yes. Okay. So we'll scout out in the West. We'll continue to try and find maybe a gem infielder somewhere. Otherwise, third base didn't have a ton to offer either. definitely probably look at Jonas Marquez, but just looking to add some depth at these positions. So, we don't have to knock it out of the park, but, we definitely want, hopefully, a potential starter in the future. All right, so let's sim through this week. All right, Pizzo down in AAA, out for a couple days. We'll keep him active. And what a run. 6 straight. A 4-game sweep versus Seattle, and then starting off with 2 wins over Houston. That's pretty good. Okay, so Eddie Garcia. Oh, yeah. Didn't match. Damn it. He probably sucks. But we have a feel for him. So where was that? Yeah, Jonas Rodriguez. Big power hitter. Could be something. Has a good arm, which is very important at third. We should be able to scout him pretty much all the way since he is 22 years old. So we'll take a look. I think we've made the rounds on Discovery for all regions. So let's go to pitchers in the West. Maybe we can find a couple relief pitchers. And then we'll sim out the rest of this month. And we went on quite a tear there. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 games in a row. And we've won 9 out of our last 10. We are still dominating first place in the division. Love to see that. But now, the question is, before we wrap up this episode, are we going to trade Mason Miller? He has improved, but he has 12 starts under his belt, 60 innings. So we're not talking about a small sample size. And we'll compare him to Julio Urias because he has phenomenally better statistics. So we'll switch those up just for comparison's sake. And he's regressing quickly. Okay. So he has given up more hits than innings. He's given up 14 home runs, 31 walks. We should probably just go to the... All right, so K per 9 is actually higher than Julio Rodriguez, so that's a bonus. He's striking out a lot of batters. That is good. But he is walking almost 5 batters an inning and giving up 2 home runs per 9. I can't deal with it. Compare that to Grayson Rodriguez, who is also struggling, but striking out more, walking way less, not giving up as many home runs. I mean, a FIP at 5.49 is awful. I think it's time. So let's actually end this day with an early trade. If you're in the chat, be happy to get your opinions on this. But let's see what we can get right off the rip for Mason Miller. We need someone MLB ready. We need another starter. And they have to be cheap because we have no money. So this is going to be kind of a tough get. Brian Mata, 28-year-old, 75 overall. And it has to be a starting pitcher. Not getting a lot of options here. Okay, so trade finder sucks. In that case, let's go. Let's see who. Let's go to the team statistics. Let's look at who is really sucking. The Angels, the Mariners, and the Twins all have terrible pitching, it seems like. I don't want to do interdivision with the Angels. Let's go take a look at Seattle. They're a small market team, so they probably have some cheap pitchers. So Mason Miller, where are those Mariners at? There they are. All right, who you got? Brian Wu, how are you pitching? Not great. Luis Morales, he actually came from us. We made a trade including him. He's actually pitching pretty well. Good for him. Luis Castillo, Walter Ford. Walter Ford. 77 overall, B potential, only 23 years old. Somehow pitching lights out. He is cheap. He is cheap. Still walking a lot of batters, though. And giving up 1.5 home runs every 9. That's not, like, stellar. I don't know how his whip is so low. But he could be a guy. What does that look like? They're very interested in making this deal. Why? Actually, let's go player search. So we need a starting pitcher. I'm not too concerned about his age. I think let's get someone who at least has similar potential. So we'll say 82 potential minimum. And then I would love someone who's not going to walk a bunch of people. So walk per 9, we're looking for something like probably in the 70s at least. And then our stadium is really good at giving up home runs. So let's look at someone who's decent and not giving up home runs. We got a huge list. Holy hell. Okay. Michael King actually contract's about the same, so we can afford him. He's 32. He's been very consistent the last few years, which is what we haven't got from Mason Miller. I think he's probably, and he's in the last year of his deal. Max Fried. Can't afford him. Probably can't afford most of these guys up here. Maybe we could afford Chris Paddock, but we actually traded him away. He was with us and was not great, but in retrospect, he was better than what we have. And he turns it around for Detroit. So that ended up being a good trade for them. Can't afford any of these guys. Gallen's injured. There's Tristan McKenzie. He's having an average year. But again, why do you want to pay someone $16 million for, a 4.5 ERA? All these guys, their contracts are just. Actually, we could afford Fromber, but he's regressing. Houston is actually at the bottom of the division, but I don't think that they are going to sell this early. I mean, I would love this. I can afford him, at least for this year, and I could probably make the trade. But there's no, it doesn't make sense because, there's no reason for the Dodgers to trade him. And then lastly, Shane McClanahan, sorry. He actually looks pretty good. We might be able to afford him. How are the Rays doing this year? Hold on. Who was the other one that we were looking at? Michael King. So Michael King from the Padres and Shane from the Rays. Rays are too high in the division to make that trade. Padres are actually up there as well. Let's look at their rosters. I mean, one thing about the Padres is they don't have a lot of youth. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 7 starters. So they might actually take that trade where it would make sense. And then the Rays, yeah, there's no shot they trade their best pitcher. All right, well, let's go to the Pirates then. Let's see if we can make that trade. My ADHD is kicking my ass right now. I can't remember who I'm looking for. Padres. Ooh, their budget sucks though, so maybe this might not go through. So we want King. We'll give you Mason Miller. They're actually pretty close on that. They also want a first baseman and a second baseman. How do you feel about Baco Kane? No? We have a billion second baseman. How about a Will Wagner and a Tommy Stevenson? We will have literally no money after that. I don't even know if they can do this trade though because they'd be negative. But it kind of makes sense. Even though Mason Miller's not pitching well right now, they have all of these guys are starting in the MLB right now. 1, 2, 3. They had 7 starters in the MLB. Keen's in the last year of his deal. Mason gives them a year of control, gives them some youth. And then they also get a first and second base prospect, which they apparently really, really need. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if they'll take it. All right. Don't know how that goes through with their budget negative. We have $54,000 worth of budget after, but we finally moved Mason Miller. It breaks my heart because I love the dude to death in real life. He's one of the bright spots in for the A's in real life. But and Michael King's kind of in a slump. But we're hoping that he turns that around and he kind of goes to what he's been doing the past, 3-4 years. He's consistent, and I'm happy with consistency. Orozco fell off a lot in these last few weeks. So it's a little worrying, but hopefully between Keane, Arias, and Grayson, who's on fire, maybe we get a little bit more stability or is improving. So I'm optimistic. There we go. That's going to be the episode for today. We ended on an interesting trade. I think that makes sense. I think that helps the Padres. Mason Miller will probably turn it around. And if he does, they basically get a younger version of the guy we traded for with a little bit more potential upside, but just hasn't been performing well. They also get 2 prospects out of the deal, which they need. So it works for us. I think everyone's happy. We're obviously going to be willing to buy anyone that we need to continue this run because we are ahead by a substantial margin 2 months in. Next episode, we will have the minor league spotlight. So we'll take a look at some minor leaguers that are close to coming up to the majors and see what they're doing. And thanks so much for watching. If you're watching this and not subscribed, I would definitely appreciate a subscription. Or you can leave me a comment and let me know how I can improve my content in the future. Other than that, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.